is a common belief that as you age, so does your sight. How true? The eye is an important organ in the human body, hence the need for proper care for good vision. Age-related macular degeneration disease, AMD, is the leading cause of visual impairment that is severe amongst older persons, especially from the age of 50. Experts say AMD may have no clear symptoms, but few tips to watch out for. Now, are you having difficulties in identifying things clearly or reading smaller fonts? Then you may need to hang out with me on this episode of Health Options. I am Salwa Khalil Ibrahim. Welcome. On this week's episode, we shall be x-raying age-related macular degeneration disease and how to maintain good sight even as you age. All these with the help of a specialist in the house, plus our Nature's Corner. This is Health Options. Joining me now is an ophthalmologist and senior registrar at the Asokoro District Hospital, Abuja, Dr. Nnamdi Ndi Ezuma. Thank you for joining us, Doctor, on Health Options.
Thank you for having me.
Now, in simple terms, what is age-related macular degeneration disease and why does it come with age?
All right. Age-related macular degeneration is a chronic degenerative eye disease that affects the retina and therefore affects the central vision. I'm trying to use very easy words so that we can understand what I mean. Okay. Vision comes from the back of the eyes, literally. And you have where is responsible for your central vision, that is when you focus on an object. So when we talk about age-related macular degeneration, we're talking about a disease condition that affects that area of the back of the eyes that is responsible for focusing on your central fields. It's usually, as the name implies, it's age-related, seen to occur with people from 50 years and above, but it has been shown to have tripled in occurrence once you are up to 70 to 75 years. It's something that is associated with people that have histories of smoking, people that are female, people that have high blood pressure, obese, people that are obese, people that also have issues with poor dietary intake. So it's a condition that is seen to affect those, as you age, it becomes more manifest in the eyes.
Did you say it's more common among the female gender? Did I hear you right?
Yes, it's a risk factor. I mean, I know that there is a genetic predisposition to the condition, okay, but amongst the risk factors, female gender is one of the known risk factors for it.
Okay, so now how does this relate to other forms of eye diseases now?
Okay, so now this condition is peculiar because it's specific to a specific, just as I said in my introduction, it's specific to a certain area in the eyes. You know, when I sit and look at an object, I focus my central vision on that object. So this condition is a condition that goes to that area of the central vision and affects it. So you tend to see that these patients have poor central vision, but their peripheral vision might still be okay. But their central vision, that is, if you tell them to look at something directly, they might not be seeing it clearly. It might be blur, it might be shaped abnormally, or there might be what we call a scotoma, like a shadow in what they are trying to see. So you see, it's kind of peculiar, it's kind of disturbing, and you just imagine trying to look at a screen and then the center of your screen is foggy. That's what age-related macular degeneration actually looks like.
Okay. Does it lead to blindness?
Of course. It's by way of giving a little statistics. In the Western world, it is the commonest cause of irreversible blindness. Down here in the developing countries, well, it might not be our topmost cause, but it's there. It's one of the causes of irreversible blindness. And what does that mean? It means that once it takes vision, it's almost impossible to regain whatever that is lost at that point.
Okay. Now, before we go to the preventive measures, you mentioned something about lifestyle now that can also contribute to this form of, eye disease. Can you emphasize on that? What kind of lifestyle now? Since we are talking about we said it's age related. How does this relate to lifestyle?
Okay. So it has been shown from studies that have been conducted that people that are obese are prone to having this condition. People that smoke, either actively or passively. What I mean by passively, maybe you are in the midst of people who are smoking, so you are passively receiving inhaling those smokes from the cigarette. People that have low or poor in terms of their dietary intake, not properly prepared food, imbalanced diet, not having the right amount of the vitamins and the ions and all that in their diet. People that are also prone to having been exposed to activities that make them look onto the sunlight for too long, because it's one of the risk factors, exposure to ultraviolet rays from the sun. So, when your lifestyle is centered around some of these things, your mode of eating, you're having high blood pressure, high cholesterol level, smoking, most times smoking goes with alcohol, so most of these things are associated with this condition. So in terms of lifestyle modifications, we're now talking about cutting down on most of these activities. So trying not to be obese or overweight. So you watch what you eat in terms of your cholesterol intake and your diet that contains high level of cholesterol. You talk about controlling your blood pressure. You talk about if your job involves you being outdoors, then you should be on protective sunshades or wide-brimmed face caps or whatever that could reduce the intensity of light getting into it. But most importantly, it also has a genetic predisposition. Okay. So if there is a family history of this kind of condition in your family, then you must be more aware of it and then prevent yourself from being exposed to most of it.
And that is not to say that older people too cannot get other forms of eye disease, right, doctor? Of
course. Most eye conditions we see, most common eye conditions, we tend to even occur with age, It's not as if they don't occur at the younger ages, but for example, the age-related macular degeneration we're talking about occurs with age. You're talking from 65, 70. Cataract occurs with age, can also be in the young too. Glaucoma, which causes irreversible blindness, occurs with age. So you see, most of these conditions are associated with age changes. The older you become, the eye also tends to age too. So some of these degenerative changes would definitely occur.
Okay. Now, I think we'll take a break now. When we return, we'll talk about the preventive measures of this type of eye disorder. Stay tuned.
The world needs mums. With a splash of golden Terra oil, a mum can transform a frown into a smile. Change no thanks into yes please. Resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty family meals is all that matters. Where there are moms, there is love. Golden Terra oil, or pure love.
Many thanks for being there, but if you just joined us, the program is Health Options, and we have been talking about age-related macular degenerative disease with an ophthalmologist, Dr. Namdi. Now, doctor, what are the preventive measures? I know we started talking about that earlier, and you said it can be preventable now. Let's talk up from there.
Right, thank you very much again. Just as I said, it has been identified that there are some risk factors to this condition. So it just follows that, if you are able to identify the risk factors and then put up preventive things that could help in, retarding the rate at which the disease might progress. So one, for starters, we have clearly identified smoking as one of the major risk factors, or one of the modifiable risk factors. So what do? You avoid smoking, either actively or passively. Two, we also talk about taking in leafy vegetables, because you see, when I was talking about the pathophysiology of this condition, I was talking about metabolic processes that happen at the back of the eyes. So what we expect is that you need to take in diet that has high level of antioxidants.
Okay.
So what are these antioxidants? They help to, they help to reduce, to take out some of these substances that have some detrimental effect at the back of the eyes. And where do you get these oxidants from? You actually get them from those green leafy vegetables like spinach, So it's, high intake of those things, especially for those people that are prone to age-related macular degeneration. We also talk about supplements, vitamin supplements.
Okay.
Folic acid, vitamin B, cyanocobalamin, all those vitamins that are, in fact, they are actually designed supplements that have antioxidant effects that are specific for the eyes. So these are some of the things that are advised to take. Then if you don't fall into any of the risk factors, that had been previously mentioned, having been obese, having high blood pressure, having high cholesterol level, these are things that you can actually work on. For the cholesterol level, you have dietary modifications, you have drugs that you could take to actually reduce some of these conditions. So generally, what we're just saying is have a very it's a good lifestyle, a specific lifestyle that keeps you away from some of these, things that could easily cause antioxidants. I also, not to forget, I mentioned about exposure to sunlight. So the use of UV protective spectacles, or if in this area of the world, the equator we find ourselves, it's a little bit more sunny than some other climes. So you are expected to, if you're going to have an activity being outdoors for a while, then face caps or caps with a wider brim, or you use UV protective sunshades. These things can help to reduce the chances, because as I said, it is irreversible. So you want to do as much as possible, because once the condition starts, the only thing we can do medically is to manage the complications and then try to provide you with reasonable vision. But it's almost unlikely for you to get vision back to the way it used to be, So that's why prevention, as they say, is actually better than going to cure.
Of course, doctor. Of course, doctor. Now, I know you said it's irreversible when it occurs. But do we see this leading to other form of diseases or eye disease?
Of course, of course. Now, from the accumulation of those deposits, as I mentioned, at the back of the eyes, especially at your central vision, they could cause a rupture of the area in which they've accumulated, thereby causing a bleed in the eyes. Also, they could cause generation of new blood vessels, which could affect the back of the eyes. All this would definitely depreciate vision. It could even cause a detachment of the sensory retina from its attachment in the eyes. So these are possible complications that could arise just simply from accumulation of metabolic waste at the back of the eyes. You understand? So it's a sequelae of events that could occur. So that's why, that's where, and I must say that the management of those sequelae are quite expensive and more specialized. So you see that in all ramifications, it's always better to try to prevent this? And how do we, what major thing do we ask of for patients? If you can have an eye check just once a year, I mean, once you clock the age of 40, because some studies have shown that those supplements should be given to people from the age of 40. I mean, once you're 40, if you can take those supplements once a day to prevent this from occurring. Some have also argued that, that doesn't really work. It only works for those that have established that they have those conditions. So, but what we advocate is that once you are at the age of 40 and you have your eye checked at least once a year, it's a precursor to try to prevent a lot of things, ranging from glaucoma, cataract, refractive errors, uncorrected ones, and then these macular degenerations. So it's something that I think, a habit that I feel Nigerians, at large should be able to imbibe. Just once a year, have it checked, simply checked, and those things can be identified. Even for this macular degeneration, there are some signs that can be seen that would indicate that in the nearest 5, 7, 6 years, this person might have this condition. And if they are halted or controlled at that point of early examination, then we can really bring down the prevalence of this condition.
Okay, many thanks, doctor, for this insight. Now you heard it can be avoided, but when it happens, that is it. We hope you are able to take 1 or 2 lessons. Many thanks for watching. Up next is our Nature's Corner.
Terra Gold, unwrap joy, unleash taste.
Nature has the solution to most of our problems, and this solution comes from most of the plants that we see. Ordinarily, plants, they have chemicals in them. Number one, to protect them from insects. They also have chemicals which are known as phytochemicals. These chemicals are of benefits to us when we take the plant. Things like you have what you call the flavonoids and isoflavonoids, which are a group of antioxidant systems that actually protect us in the body. So ginger is just an example. It's one example of one of these many products that are being emphasized now because of the medicinal benefits. Take, for example, if you take adequate amount of ginger, and when we talk about adequate amount, this should be on a routine basis. Don't expect to take ginger one day and expect that you get all these benefits. No, it should become a lifestyle. If you look at disease, to us, we know that disease, the hallmark of all diseases is what we call inflammation. When there is exacerbated inflammation going on in the body, that is the time that you have disease, setting in. So, ginger is an anti-inflammatory. It has anti-inflammatory properties. And it is not rocket science that if inflammation causes a disease, and you are taking an anti-inflammatory product like ginger, it will really help reduce inflammation and thereby reduce disease. The second important aspect that ginger actually brings about in the body, it stimulates our immune system. We talk about disease, and any other thing as being a compromisation of our immune system. It's when our immune system is asleep that disease actually overpowers us. So if you have a product by way of ginger that can stimulate your immune system or my immune system, it has ultimate benefits. You can also see those other benefits of ginger. It has been shown scientifically that it is also sexual stimulant, and this is nothing by anything about the stimulation of your body or other desires. Is as a result of increased circulation in the body. So you see that ginger improves and increases even our cardiovascular output, as well as what we call peripheral blood circulation. So that is another benefit that you can see from ginger. And again, ginger in general is classified as an adaptogen. If you look at the definition of the word adaptogen, it means natural properties that have immunostimulatory as well as anti-inflammatory benefit. That is the meaning of the word adaptogen. And if you go into details, adaptogens covers so many protective effects. It creates, it is effective in condition of preventing cardiovascular diseases like stroke, because stroke is usually caused when there is an impaired flow of blood due to constricture of the blood vessels, or when the blood vessel gets busted and this. But if you have something that is it is a cardiovascular stimulant, it improves the flow of blood in the body. You cannot ask for anything better. So, and then you look at it, ginger also prevents us against infectious diseases. There are certain diseases that come into our body. It is actually bactericidal. It actually kills some of these bacteria. So I can go on and on enumerating the benefits of ginger, but the bottom line is that there is no one single standalone silver bullet treatment that can help towards our well-being. That is to say that each product must be used in context of combination, and there are certain fundamentals of your body. Like if you are there just taking ginger and not doing exercises in your body, you are not going to achieve the premium health that you need. If you are there not sleeping very well, what we call sleep deprivation, and you are just taking ginger, it's not going to help in your overall health benefit. So knowledge-wise, this thing should be done in combination, so that you can regain and control your health properly. Ginger is really very key. And other things that we also use that should also be recommended, that should be part of our table meals, things like turmeric. Turmeric is also very important. Foods like garden eggs, they are also very important. Things like cucumber, they are also very important. And in general, we are advised to take greens. Anything that it is green vegetables, all this combined to define the totality of our health.
Imagine lovely meals you can cook with these ingredients. You spend heavily, but no guarantee of a tasty meal. Not making a right choice of seasoning cube can ruin your meal, money, and confidence. For a tasty meal, do not compromise. Choose Gold.
Use Terra Gold for the rich, consistent taste your loved ones crave for. Good for soups, stews, and jollof. Terra Gold. 1 cube, endless possibilities.
With that, we come to the end of this week's episode of Health Options. You can always watch these and previous episodes of the program on our YouTube channel at www.nta.gov.ng. You can also drop your comments and suggestions. I am Salwa Khalil Ibrahim. Bye for now.